Okay, circles. You need a center and a radius, and they gave us both, so this is not too bad. Your center is located at H and K. And then radius is 2. So the formula for an equation of a circle is from Pythagorean's theorem: a squared plus b squared is c squared. And the a is the distance. X is going to be from the center plus the difference of the y and its center squared equals, and c is r squared. So take the 3, drop it in place of the h, take the 4, drop it in place of the k, take the 2, drop it in place of the r, and that one matches up with b, because 4 is really 2 squared. Okay, number 2, cylinder, they need the volume. So 4 shapes: cylinder, cone, pyramid, sphere. Cylinder is the area of the base, and that was a capital B, times the height. And since the base is a circle shape, the area of a circle is pi r squared times the height. And the height is the one thing we don't know. We don't know how tall this is, but they did give us a triangle. They want us to use a little bit of logic to figure it out yourself. So since it's a 90-degree triangle, you can use a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So you're going to go 8 squared plus x squared equals 16 squared. X squared equals 16 squared minus 8 squared. So x squared equals, whatever that is, equals 192. And then undo the square. So it's going to be, x is really a plus or minus square root of 192. But since it's the length of a shape, we're going to ignore the minus here. We'll just go with the plus. So 192 is not a perfect square. Okay, and 192, let's break it down. You can take, if you divide it by 16, 16 times 12 will give you 192. And 16 is, I could stop there, 16 is a perfect square. 12 is 4 and 3. And 4 is 2 and 2, so there's another pair. And then I got this 3. So 4 will go out, 2 will go out. So on the outside I got a 4 and a 2, which is 8. And on the inside you just have 3. So 8 square roots of 3 is the exact same as the square root of 192. So that is the height. 8 square roots of 3. So now the area of the base is all we're going to find, and it is pi r squared, so it's going to be pi times 4 square. So that is going to simplify to 16 pi. And then we do 16 pi times the height, which is 8 square roots of 3. So the 16 will times the 8, and that gives you 128 pi square root of 3. And that matches with C. Okay, number 3. Which equation represents the set of all points that are exactly a square root of 3 units from negative 2, 3? So if you have negative 2, 3, negative 2 up 3, this is the definition of a circle. So if you determine a location, that's going to be our center, and you determine a length, if you want to go exactly square root of 3 units away in this direction, this direction, this direction, if you get 1,000 of these dots, it's going to be a circle. So square root of 3. Square root of 3 is not very much. Square root of 3 is like 1.732. So somewhere between 1 and 2. Alright, so this is my center, so that is the H and that is the K, and this is going to be the R. So it's almost as easy as the first question, but it's worded different. So it is going to be X minus the H, which is a minus 2, square plus Y minus the K square equals the R square, and my R is square root of 3 square. So we're going to go with C, because minus minus, that should be a plus, and square root of 3 square, that square undoes the square root, so square root of 3 times square root of 3, you have two of them, that's a square root of 9, and a square root of 9 is just 3. So C looks good. Number 4, circle's got a diameter of 18 inches, it's divided into 6 equal sectors. So circle, 6 equal sectors. What does that look like? Something like this, kinda. So a sector is a slice. 6 equal slices of pizza. You could think of it more like that. Let's try this. Okay. So if we divide it into 6 equal portions, there we go. This is a sector. Okay, so we got 18 inches diameter, so that means each radius measures 9. And divided into single sector, what's the perimeter of each sector? So the perimeter is this distance here. If you walk from this point around the exterior of this sector, how far did you walk when you get back all the way around? So this portion's 9, this portion's 9. We gotta find this. That's a arc. So it's part of the circumference. The circumference is the same thing as the perimeter of a circle. So the circumference equals pi times diameter. So pi times 18. So the circumference is 18 pi all the way around. But since you're dividing it into 6 equal portions, divide that by 6. So each portion must be 3 pi. So we're going to go with B. 9 plus 9 is 18 plus 3 pi. And these are not like terms, so they do not add together. So you just leave it 18 plus 3 pi. 5. Okay, this one's a little tough. They give you the makings of an equation of a circle. They want you to determine where the center is and the length of the radius. So move number 1. You want it to look like this: x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is r squared, and right now it does not look like that, so it's going to take a little manipulation on your part. So organize your x's together. X squared minus 6x, put your y's together. Y squared plus 2y, and then we got equals a minus 1. You need to turn your x's and your y's into perfect squares. You need to factor them. You need to complete the square. So this x is missing something. The y's are missing something. To turn them into perfect squares, your x's, how you complete the squares, you take b, you divide it by 2, and you square it. And my b is a minus 6, so minus 6 divided by 2 squared, that is a minus 3, squared is minus 3 times minus 3, that's 9. So I am missing a 9. If you plus a 9 on this side, you got to plus a 9 on this side. Now, if you had a 9 with these x's, you can factor them, and they will factor to be x minus 3 times x minus 3, which is x minus 3 squared. The y's are missing. Take b, cut it in half. 2 cut in half is 1, times it by itself. 1 times 1 is 1. You plus a 1 on this side, you got a plus a 1 on this side. Okay, now factor this, and that will factor to y plus 1 times y plus 1, which is y plus 1 squared. And then on the right hand side, you've got 3 squared. So your radius is 3, and the circle is at h. H is after the minus. You gotta remember this minus is not part of the number, it's part of the model. So center is 3, and this is really y minus a minus 1. So it's a minus 1, because that is after the minus. 6. What is the value of x? Okay, angles and arcs. So this arc is a portion of the circumference. Okay, if it is anchored to this angle right here, and that angle is 54, then the arc is going to be 54 times 2. It's going to be doubled. So it's going to be 108 in degrees. And that means your central angle is 108. If you go from the center of a circle, that central angle is always the same measure as the arc it makes. So it makes an arc that is also 108 degrees. But if you pull back and measure from the perimeter of the circle, it's going to be doubled. The arc will always be doubled what that angle is. So I'm going to go 108. 7. 2 cups. One is a cylinder with radius 2, height of 3. The other is a cone that has a radius of 3 and a height of 4. Which cup will hold more juice? So cylinder we did. Cylinder was the area of the base, which is pi times r squared times height. So this cylinder is 2 times 2 is 4 times 3. It is 12 pi inches squared. Alright, now the cone. Cone's a little bit different. It's the same concept. You gotta find the area of the base. The area of the base is gonna be pi times r squared, and you gotta times it by the height, and the height is 4, but you are not using the same amount of space as the cone, so you're going to divide it by 3, and this is 9 times 4, so that's 36 pi on top divided by 3, and that simplifies to 12 pi inches squared. So be careful, because if these were inches and these were centimeters, then that'd change everything. So make sure your units are the same, and because the units are the same, they're going to hold the same amount. Equation of a circle. Okay, right now, as it stands, this circle is HKR. The H is 2, the K is a minus 3, and the R is 3, so I'm going to go over 2, down 3, and then your radius is 3 to the right, 3 to the left, so somewhere like right here. There's your circle. If you shift it 3 units up, and then 2 units left, so 3 units up, right now this dot is at a 2 and a minus 3, so if I take it 3 units up, my new K is 0. If I go 2 units left, I'm already over 2 units right, so my new H is 0. And if you dilate it by a factor of R, that means you're going to double the size of it. So you're going to times the radius by 2. So your new radius is 6. So the equation is going to be x minus 0 square plus y minus 0 square equals 6 square. Or x squared plus y squared equals 36. Number 9. Okay, same with angles and arcs. So the following has a center at C. So this angle right here, D, makes this arc right here. And because the angle measures 23 degrees, the arc is going to measure 46 degrees. Now, okay, we want this angle right here. And this angle makes the same exact arc. And because it is a central angle, it's going to be 46 degrees. 10. Find find x. Okay, this is a diameter. So it's going to cut this circle in half. That means this arc measures 180 degrees. Which means the angle that makes it is this angle right here. It will measure 90 degrees. And since that is a triangle, there's 180 degrees in a triangle. So that means this angle and this angle must be 90. They must be supplementary. They've got to add and give you 90. So 36 plus x equals 90. So 90 minus 36 should give you B. Okay, number 11. You need to find H and K. So let's organize our x's and our y's. If we go 2x squared minus 20x plus 2y squared plus 4y is 0. Okay, now move number 1. These are all even, so I'm going to divide this side all by 2, divide this side by 2. 0 divided by 2 still stays 0. 2 divided by 2 is going to be 1x squared minus 10x. That's going to be 1y squared plus 2y. So I want the squares to be 1s. And now that they are 1s, let's figure out what they're missing. Let's complete the square so we can turn them into perfect squares. I am missing a 25. Cut that in half. 5 plus 5 times 5 times 5, 25. Cut this in half. 1 plus 1. So this is 1 times 1. This is 1. You add a 25 on the left and a 1 on the left. You better add a 26 on the right. Okay, this is going to factor to x minus 5 squared, and this will factor to y plus 1 squared. So that means your h is at 5 and your k is a minus 1. So that matches A. Okay, number 12. An ice cream cone. Find the volume of it. Okay, so we did a cone. The cone is pi r squared. Pi r squared times the height, all divided by 3. Okay, now my answer has pi in all its terms. So, man, 64 times 4 divided by 3. Oh, but these are all decimals. Because if I do 64 times 4 divided by 3, that gives me a decimal. And that decimal is 85.33333 pi. Okay, now I'm going to find the volume of this sphere, and I'm going to cut it in half. And I know it's exactly half because here is a radius, and from the top of my ice cream cone here to the top of the sphere is a radius, so that's got to be exactly half. So the formula for sphere is 4 times pi r cubed all divided by the height. No, all divided by 3. All divided by 3. So I'm going to do 4 times 8 cubed. 4 times 8 cubed, divide that by 3, and I get another decimal. So we get 682.666 pi. So the volume is going to be these two guys added together. So 85.3 add my 682, and you should have, oh, I forgot to cut this in half. This is the volume of the whole sphere, but we got to divide that by 2. So divide this. Dude, I still think I'm in trouble here. Oh, it's 0.8 cubed, not 8 cubed. Okay, that was way too much. Alright, let's try the sphere again. So I'm going to do 4 times 0.8 cubed. Then I'm going to divide that by 3. Okay, so that gives me 0.6826666. So the same numbers, the decimals just moved over. And I gotta cut that in half. Divide that by 2. Divide that guy by 2. So I am about 0.341 pi. Now I gotta add that to, freak, man, I did the same thing on the cone. It's 0.8 squared, not 8 squared. So I think, can I just move the decimal over 2 times there? 0.853. Let's try that. Jeez, someone just scared the crap out of me. Okay, so matches with A, 1.195-ish pi cubic inches. And the last one. So you got a circle here. And CD is the same as BC, and that's the same as 5. So CD is 5, BC is 5. What is the measure of AB? So we got to find this. This is the center, so that's the radius. And that's the radius, so that is 10. And since this is a diameter, that's 180 degrees, the arc, so that is 90 degrees. And it's a special triangle. So this guy is 10 and this guy is 5. So that means this guy is 10 and this guy is 5. So it's an equilateral. So this is 60, this is 60, this is 30, this is 30, and this is going to be 5 square roots of 3.